Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a little while since I have made a video, and so I wanted to kind of give you guys an update on some things that we have been going through, that I've been going through, and the reason why I haven't made a video in a while. So those of you who have been following my channel for a while know that my husband and I have been trying to conceive baby number 5 um, since the end of last year, December, January. Well, last month for my September cycle, I did get pregnant, but something went wrong. It wasn't progressing like it should have been, and I lost the pregnancy. It was a few days after I found out that I was pregnant. So the doctors don't really know. They think it might have been a blighted ovum or something also known as a chemical pregnancy, where the embryo implants and it starts to develop, but it just stops. You know, there's something wrong, maybe not enough chromosomes or something, and it just doesn't progress any further. And so that has been just hard for me. I've been kind of in like this funk, like I don't really know how to process it. I mean, I know it was early and all of that, but you know, if you see 2 lines on a test, it's hard to not immediately think about, you know, that little baby, you know, joining your family in 9 months. And it's just, you know, for me, the second that I saw 2 lines, I got excited and I knew, you know, I couldn't wait to find out who this new little person was, and then it just went away. So I'll give you a little bit of the backstory of what exactly happened. About 6 DPO last month, I was really bloated, and I knew like I couldn't really suck it in. When I would try to suck in, it wouldn't suck in, and so I knew that that was not normal. It's not normal for me to get bloated like that right after ovulation, and so I knew that wasn't the norm. Something else was probably going on, and I had this gut feeling that I was probably pregnant, but I didn't want to, you know, worry about testing or anything. I knew it was way too early. So a couple of days went by, and I started to feel like this heavy feeling in my lower belly area, and the bloat was still there. It never went away. And I was also starting to have to use the bathroom a lot. Like I was peeing a lot. And so at 11 DPO in the morning, I took a test. It was one of those Clear Predict or Sure Predict little strip tests from Amazon. And it was negative, and so I thought, okay, well, I'm only 11 DPO, it's early still. That entire day, I just had this feeling, and I kept telling my husband, I think I'm pregnant. I just could tell. My breasts were fuller, and I just felt different. So then that night, I had held my pee for like 5 hours because I wanted to make sure it was concentrated. That night I took another test, and it was a very faint second line. It was a very faint positive, and I was just so excited. I was just couldn't believe it. You know, it had been 9 months and we had been trying to conceive, and I couldn't believe that it had happened. It was very exciting, and I showed the test to my husband, and we were both just really excited, but I was super nervous also. I just felt like nervous, you know, because I'd gone through 2 miscarriages of a surrogate, and I just felt like, what if something goes wrong? So we decided, let's just be cautiously optimistic. The next day, I took another test. I couldn't really tell that much of a difference between that one and the one that I'd taken that night, but I knew that it had only been like 9 hours, so it wasn't really a ton of time for the HCG to double or get darker, and so I didn't really worry about it too much. Well, I kept testing every day. throughout the last, those few days, and the lines just were not getting darker. The whole weekend I kept testing, and I just knew that something was not right, because I should have seen the lines getting darker. Having gone through pregnancy, this would have been my 8th pregnancy, counting the surrogate pregnancies, and so I knew like what the signs are and stuff, and how to gauge if everything is progressing by, how dark the test lines are. So I decided to call my doctor and go have my blood drawn just to check the HCG level and make sure that it was increasing, or to see what the initial number was, because I wasn't sure. So I did that on a Tuesday at 14 DPO. So the day that I would have started my period, I went and got my blood drawn. And it came back the next day. The result of that was that it was a 5, which is extremely low. Definitely a lot lower than what I was imagining it would be. I thought it would at least be like 25 or 30. But it was a 5. So that didn't make me feel very good. I definitely felt nervous, like, okay, these feelings, these thoughts I've had in the back of my mind are for a reason, because I just don't feel like this is going to turn out right. And so I was still, felt pregnant. I was having symptoms. I was already starting to crave like spicy salsa and M&Ms, which is just a funny craving because I don't normally crave anything. And so I waited Wednesday and then went back Thursday and had my HCG drawn again to see if it doubled, and the result came back Friday afternoon. Well, Friday morning I woke up, and about an hour or two after I woke up, I started bleeding, and I knew that I lost the pregnancy. So I should have been 5 weeks on Friday, and which was technically 4 days late for my period, but I was bleeding, so I knew that it was over. It was disappointing to actually realize that it was over, because I was really hoping that my gut was wrong, that I was, the thoughts I was having in the back of my mind were not going to be a reality. But unfortunately it was a reality. So I got the call from my doctor, and my HCG was only an 8. In 2 days it did not double. It barely rose at all. So, that was definitely an indication that, yeah, it wasn't going normal. It was not progressing like it should. I cried, and my husband and I were just both really, really just, it was heartbreaking. I mean, even though we hadn't known about the pregnancy for that long, knowing that we were wanting this little baby, and we were excited, and we had been trying, and we were, so thrilled that it finally happened, just to have it taken away a few days later was just so disappointing. And, going through 2 miscarriages as a surrogate, I'd never been through anything like this with my own pregnancy before, so it just was different. It was just devastating. So I've just been having a hard time since then, wanting to pick up the camera. I've just felt like in a funk. I haven't wanted to talk about it, but now I feel like I want to be able to share what happened and, put this out there for anyone who might experience this, or I pray that you don't ever have to experience this, because, it's not fun, it's not fair, and the second you see 2 lines, you picture that little baby, and then it's taken away, and it just feels like a cruel joke. That's what I just kept telling my husband. It feels like a cruel joke. Seeing the 2 lines on the test, and then 6 days later, I'm not pregnant anymore. It's just not fair. So now I am just waiting for my next period, and we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's going to take a long time to conceive again, or if we might be fortunate enough to get pregnant again right away. I don't know, obviously, what's going to happen. My silver lining throughout all of this is that at least we did get pregnant. And even though it took 9 months, we did conceive. And so that is a relief, because I was starting to feel like maybe something was wrong with me after, you know, all those years of IVF and surrogacy and medicine and stuff. Maybe I messed up or broken. And so knowing that we did conceive and we know that we can get pregnant on our own is a huge relief. And so I'm just praying now that when we do get pregnant again, that the little baby is strong and healthy and sticks with me throughout the entire 9 months, and that we have a normal, healthy pregnancy like what we had with our 4 boys, you know? So that's my silver lining through this situation, and I hope that this video will be helpful to any of you who have to experience anything similar. You know, test lines not getting darker was my first indication that something was wrong. So I hope this video will be helpful for you. I hope you don't have to go through anything like this, but I'm just now able to talk about it and not feel like all hope is lost, you know? I'm kind of like, I realized that we got pregnant, and that's good. So I'm praying that we'll get pregnant again and that everything will be fine. But thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for being understanding. And, you know, now I feel like I'll be back in the groove of filming again and making videos. And I have some new videos that I want to do that I haven't done on my channel before. So I'm looking forward to that. And I just appreciate you taking the time to hear my story, and you know, this is the update, you know. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate the support. It means so much, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.